Good morning, everyone. Okay, please decide if you're going to choose yellow, green, or pink. Okay, while everyone else is joining in, I'm going to continue and ask you a next question. So here we go. Well, actually, before I do that, I want to warn all of us, there's going to be a screen coming up where you get to choose your own avatar, okay? And you get to type in your name. This was from a few weeks ago with Mrs. Skaggs. We were able to, and I am actually able to pull up all of your responses, and you can choose your own avatar. As you can see, the students, you can choose your avatar, and we are able to download all your responses. So I was able to send your responses to your teacher. And because this is a district Zoom class, everyone can see your answers. So I want to remind all of us to remember how to be appropriate during our Zoom class. Please choose appropriate avatars. There will be consequences, and we do not want to have to ruin something fun like a Zoom class. So please make sure you are appropriate, okay? Because we can download and access any and everything that you type in during Zoom class, okay? So I just want to remind everybody how to behave during our Zoom classes, okay? All right, here we go. Here's our question. What are your true feelings about taking tests? All right. Thank you for your honesty. I love these. What is this? Gifts? What are your true feelings? Oh, so funny. If you were to use words to describe these pictures, please share them with your teacher. Teachers, if you can share it in the chat, that would be great. I only see 3% of this happy one right here. Okay, we're gonna move on. So here is a very interesting question. As you know, we are going and preparing for our CAASPP test. CAASPP stands for California Assessment of Student P and P. What do you think the two P words stand for? And remember, let's be appropriate, okay? So what do you think the two P's stand for? Okay. Progress, performance. California Assessment of Student P and P. I think we're getting it. Student, oh, I see practice. Persistence.
Very good.
Very good.
Preparation.
Very good. Okay, we're going to move on. I'll give you the answer. It is California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. Very good. Good job, guys. And I wanted to share with you what it does. And after you take this assessment, it places you in bands. You're like, what? No, not this kind of band. I don't know if your teacher actually shared with you about the different bands, but I wanted to give you a brief explanation of what I mean by bands. It places you in 4 different bands, and this is what it looks like, okay? It places you in standard exceeded, standard met, nearly met, and standards not met. And what this actually means is not supposed to show you how smart you are or how anything like that. It's really showing you how much you have learned or how much more you need to learn within that grade level. And so what we want to be able to show you is that everything that you've learned within this year, we want to know where you need to go and where you or how much more you need to learn within that year. So you have access to your scores from last year. And I don't know if you know this, but everyone has access to your scores from last year. So if you're able to sign into your Aries account, you have access to that. So this is, for example, a student if you sign into your Aries, you can go to your test scores, you click on test scores, and you go to state test score reports, and you click on CAASPP, and you go to English. For example, if you are a 5th grader, you can see your 4th grade scores, and then you can see your 3rd grade scores. And then you can actually look at where you scored last year. Now here, it shows you what band you placed and then how you were so close to maybe going up to the next band. So this is something for you to kind of be aware of so that you can see, oh, maybe I need to look at where I need to focus on this year so that I can score a little bit better or focus on this skill or that skill this year so that I can move up this year. So I wanted to show this to you so that you can maybe have a conversation with your teacher and you can know where you scored last year and how you can move up. And teachers, if you want or need help getting your students access into Aries, I am more than welcome to help you to get your students into Aries so that they can be able to look at their own scores from last year, because every student has access to their Aries account and they can look at their own scores from last year. So this is for English and math, and especially for the 4th and 5th graders. So I wanted to give you that just simple talk of bands so that you have an idea of what this all means. We talk about CAS scores, we talk about getting ready for it. So we want you to be aware of why we're doing all this. And again, this is not about showing how smart you are. It's really showing about taking something like a test to show how much you've learned, because you learned so much already, right? You learned so much already, and we just want to be able to work together and prove, oh my gosh, we learned so much. So what we're going to do is we are going to read a quick passage, and while I'm reading, Mrs. Joe is going to show you her magic note-taking skills while I read. So everyone still has your screen open, right?
All right. Can I go?
Hold on, my screen disappeared.
Oh, sorry, because I started sharing.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Oh,
No, you need to share your screen.
okay.
Okay, so everyone has your screen open and you see what I see, correct? Do you see treasure in the field? Thumbs up. Okay, and you see Mrs. Joe's screen on your teacher's screen? Okay, we've been learning about note-taking, and what you are going to see is how Mrs. Joe takes notes while she reads a passage, okay? So at this time, I'm going to read it. You're going to follow along with me, and you're going to watch how she takes notes. So Mrs. Joe, you want to say anything first?
Yes. So what we've done before, we did note taking for informational text. Okay. So what I want you to think about is the chant that we learned a long time ago the narrative chant and the informational chant, right? So this story, I believe it's going to be a story, I believe, right? It's like a folktale or something. So that would be a narrative. So we want to think about the narrative chant. Okay, every story has a setting and a character, because we're picking out the important parts. So every story has a setting and a character. The setting tells us when and where. The character drives the action of the story. Remember that? In the beginning, middle, end. In the beginning, what has to happen? The setting and character has to come alive, and then, which means you just have to give a little information. The author has to give us a little bit of information about the setting and character, and then there has to be a problem. Okay, remember that, a conflict or problem. So you're going to think through that as I'm writing my little notes here. But I want to organize my notes. So this is going to be a narrative, and you won't know until you see the passage, right? And I already saw the title, so I was like, okay, it's a narrative. So I'm going to just remind myself that it's a narrative. You don't have to do this time. I just want you to watch how I take notes. Every story has a setting and a character in a beginning, middle, end. So I'm going to put B. And in the beginning, there's usually a problem. Things are happening and there's a problem. And then you set a goal. Okay, if you know the chant, if you remember the chant, I'm just writing down the little icons that I use when I do my summary notes, right? And then in the middle, what happened? In the middle, there's actions, actions, actions. The end. Okay, what's the last thing that happened to the character? Was the character successful or unsuccessful? Remember that part? And then at the very end, who cares? I do. We do. What's the lesson that we learned? What's the theme? Okay, so this is our note-taking little notes. And then as Mrs. Ha's reading the story, I'm going to be taking notes. All right, go.
Okay, here we go. Once there was a man who lived with his two young sons on a farm in Vietnam. Since the man had to tend the field, the boys took care of the house. That is, they were supposed to take care of the house. Often the father returned home to find that nothing had been done. He even had to cook dinner. "What have you been doing all day, Ta?" he would ask his older son. "Studying, father, and thinking," Ta would reply. "And what have you been doing, Hai, my young son?" the father would ask. "Watching the house for you," Hai would answer. A neighbor asked the old man, "Are your sons helping you?" "Oh, they would," the father answered, "but they are young." Some years later, the neighbor asked, "Aren't your sons helping you in the field?" "Oh, they would," the father replied again, "but they are still young. I will let them enjoy life now. They will help me later on." As the years went by, it became clear even to their father that the boys were lazy. Though they sometimes tended the field with them, they always made excuses to go home early. Finally, the father grew too old to work, and he took to his bed. The sons were sad, for they not only depended on their father, but they also loved him. One day, the old man called Ta and Hai to his side and said weakly, "I have a secret to tell you, my sons. Bend close." Hai and Ta leaned over to hear the secret. "A while ago," the old man said, "we learned that there is treasure buried in the field. It's still there, but you must dig for it." The son's eyes widened. "Treasures in the field?" Ta said. "Where?" asked Hai. "Dig for it, and you will find it," said their father. "But promise me that you will share it equally." The sons promised and hurried out to begin. Day after day they dug. Their neighbor was astonished to see how long and hard the young men worked. As Ta and Hai, they felt stronger. As for Ta and Hai, they felt stronger and better than ever before. At last, the entire field had been dug, but no treasure had been found. The brothers moped around with their heads down. Finally, an idea came to Ta. "The land is ready for planting," he said to his brother, "and our rice is almost gone. You take one half of the field, and I'll take the other. We'll tend it and just as father did." The days passed, and the seedlings grew. In due time, the field gave an abundant harvest. There was rice to eat and rice to sell. When the sons took the rice to the marketplace, it brought a good price. Excited, Ta and Hai ran back to the house and approached their father's bedside. They dropped coins into the old man's hand. Look, father, said Hai, we have sold rice and brought you gold. Yes, said Ta, just as you said, the treasure was in the field. The old man smiled. They had learned his secret.
All
Okay,
right.
this is Joe.
All right, some lessons. Did you notice that I didn't write everything? I was listening and then I wrote down the main parts. And then the only thing I didn't have is goal. What was the goal of the character? Oh, boys were lazy, excuses. So Goldie, don't be lazy, right? At the end of the story. And then I thought, what are some lessons? I bet you guys came up with some lessons too as you're listening. Work hard. Don't be lazy. What else? Treasures. Because the boys thought the treasures were just money or gold that they can just dig for. But treasures come in many different ways, many ways. Because the treasure wasn't actually the gold necessarily. The treasure was that they learned that hard work results in good things happening. Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Joe.
Welcome. Now, the great thing, one thing to share is I only heard the story one time and I had to write it down, right? So I was writing really fast, but you have the passage in front of you and you could always reread it, of course, right? So don't feel like you can't reread and you can't re-listen and then go back and take notes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move forward into inferencing because our next question, and we're going to have to skip Mrs. Joe and move forward. If you could just explain, and then we're going to go to the question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what is an inference? Inference is when, is the next slide available or you said no next slide?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to say that word inference, inferencing. So what is inferencing? It's when you're taking something that you read is a past tense of what you read, right? Something you read and something what you already know. So think about what you read and what you know. You put them together and that's when you inference in your head, okay? So you can take something that you look or you read or you view with your eyes, a picture. Could be a picture, but you always connect it to something that you know about it, and then it will help you to inference. So just think about those two things. How do I inference? Okay, what you read or saw in a photo and what you know in your head. That's put those two things together and that's how you inference. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at this. Where was the family going? We don't have a picture, but we're going to take what it says in the text. Let's read this. Mom made sandwiches and put them into the basket, along with some fruit and chips. Dad grabbed a big checkered blanket, and Robbie got the frisbee. Then the whole family piled into the car and headed out. The question is, where was the family going? So think about what you just read. There are some words that might give us clues. And then think about something that you know about where they might go. Maybe you know because you've gone to the same place before with some of these items. Maybe you haven't, but that's okay. Okay, we're gonna think, what does this remind us of? That's how we inference. Okay. Are they going to respond?
Oops.
Oh. I think Mrs. Ha's gonna have you guys respond to this question. Where was the family going? And what makes you think so? Are they able to respond to this one, Mrs. Ha?
Yes, everyone's responding, right?
Oh, are they? I don't know. Oh, they're typing. All right. How does this show? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Very nice. And Many of you said to a picnic. Yes, maybe you thought a park, and that would be correct too. More specific would be a picnic, but then they could be going to a park, but they could be having a picnic at other places too, right? At the beach. Where else? Maybe on a hike. Okay, but yeah, definitely a picnic. Great job. And I love that you guys, some of you also put the reasons why. Yes. All right, great job. Here's the next one. What happened to his sandwich? Here's another one. So we're going to infer. James made a ham sandwich and set it on the kitchen table. His dog Spot was sniffing around the table. The phone rang and James got up to answer it. When he came back, his sandwich was gone. What happened to his sandwich? We're going to infer. Take the information that we read in this text, and then think about what you know, and then put them together, and that's how we inference what happened, because it didn't tell us. Inferencing, it means the author didn't tell us what happened. Ah, yes, the dog ate it. The author did not say the dog ate it, so the sandwich was gone. We are inferring what happened. Great job. All right.
Okay, so this is the part where you decided as a class which team you're joining. Please make sure you are you decide as a class. So it looks like Mrs. Delange's class is green team. Mrs. Sparza's class pink. Mrs. Aguirre's yellow. Make sure you as a whole class join the team. Mrs. Razzo's pink. I'll give you a few. Make sure you join the correct team as your class. And we are going to start. Should we have some prizes? Sure, why not? We'll have prizes. Okay, one thing I do not want you to do is share your answers with each other, okay? All right, here we go. Now, all of these questions were taken from the CAASPP practice test, okay? And let's remember the story we just read together, and we're going to start the quiz, okay? Here we go. The first question. Which detail from the passage best explains why the father must stop working in the field? You have time, okay? So the father needs to return home to cook the dinner. The father asks the neighbor to do the work in the field. The father's sons depend on him to stay home and care for them. Or the father's age makes it too difficult to do farm work any longer. And answering quickly does not give you bonus points. You have to just answer correctly. Okay?
So important to read all the choices. Like I almost answered it early, but then I was like, oh no, I got to listen to Mrs. Ha and follow along. So make sure you read all the choices, right?
Yeah, and one of the best test taking strategies is always eliminate the wrong answers. I know for sure. I'll give you a hint. A is not the right answer.
Now, the question could be a little tricky, classes, because it says best explains. Because if you thought about why he stopped working at the end of the day, that might give you a different answer, right? But it didn't say that. Best answer. Yes. Because if it said, why does the dad?
Okay, and the answer is
Ah.
D. Okay, let's see. Who is in the lead? Green team is in the lead. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Question number 2. Read the oh, it's tiny, super tiny. Read the sentence from the passage. Day after day, the neighbor was astonished to see how long and hard the young men worked. What does the word astonish most likely mean? Okay, remember you have to read the word in the context of the sentence because astonish can mean a lot of things, but what does the word mean in the sentence? The neighbor was astonished to see how long and hard the young men worked. I like to always put the choices in the sentence and see how it sounds. The neighbor was disappointed to see how long and hard the young men worked. Their neighbor was discovered to see how long. The neighbor was satisfied to see how long. The neighbor was surprised to see how long. What is the best answer? Okay. Oh, we're running out of time. It's 9 o'clock, my
Eliminate,
friends. I know.
eliminate. Oh,
Very good. Woohoo! Green team still in the lead. Very, very good. Here we go. Next. Which detail from the passage best shows that the old man's sons are lazy? And remember, this is inferencing, just what Mrs. Joe reviewed with us. This is inferencing. Since the man had to tend the field, the boys took care of the house. Does that show that they're lazy? Oh, they would, but they are young. Okay, it looks like 567 responded. I'm gonna have to end this one. Ready? Which one is the correct answer? C is the correct answer. Green team is still in the lead. The final sentence in the passage says, the old man smiled. They had learned his secret. Now this one, it says, what is the most likely reason the author included the final sentence in the passage? Pick two choices. So remember, you have to choose two. And there's no letter next to these boxes, so you kind of have to see. This one's going to be A. The first one's A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So make sure you choose the correct one to show that the old man's plan had worked, to show that the boys are mad about being tricked, to show that the boys are happy about earning money, to show that the old man does not want the boys to know the secret. I know for sure there are some of these I could eliminate. Show that the man wants his son to look at something in a new way, or to show that the old man is mad at his boys for not helping him for years. Okay, I'm still waiting for a few more. There's 590. Okay, I might have to end now. I'll wait till we get to 600. Okay, here we go. Oh, this one was hard. It was A and E. Oh, you know what? I was supposed to do up to F. Yes, A and E is the correct answer.
What did D? What was the choice for D that a lot of people chose? Let me see. Are we able to go back? No.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh no, is that it? Oh
Might have.
no.
Ah.
Ah! Sorry. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do a raffle though. And I still owe a raffle to that student at Los Altos. A prize. Julian from Mrs. Aguilar's class. Woo! I will come bring you a sticker.
Yay!
Great job, guys. Excellent, excellent job.
So much fun.
Okay. Thank you. Great job, everybody. Teachers, if you need assistance with getting your kids onto Aries, please let me know. I will help you with that. And hopefully all of you will be able to view your scores from last year. If you need help, let me know. Have a good day. You guys are amazing. Everyone say I'm amazing. Bye.